traditional territory, Ojibwe people, the traditional keepers of this land. And as my friend Katie was saying, I'm from Ottawa. I'm one of the co-founders of PACT Ottawa. And so I come from unceded Algonquin territory and bring greetings from our other members of PACT. And I'm just getting used to this term doctor. In fact, Katie is the first person who's ever introduced me as a doctor. I just received my doctorate from St. Paul University in Ottawa on Monday. And my topic was on trafficking in Aboriginal women and girls in Canada, but settler colonialism as a root cause. And my work is to speak to my people about this reality in our country of settler colonialism, that relationship and the connection to human trafficking. And I think this event is very well placed because it's right between the event, all of you who are wearing orange, right between the survivors event and October 4th, the missing and murder walks that will be happening right across the country. So all of these things are really connected. There's trafficking happening in Canada, and PACT Ottawa did the first ever study in Ottawa. It was a very short, we had only 9 months to do the study, so it was very limited. But the small study that we did, we found out that there are 140 people, women, who are trafficked in Ottawa. That was in 2014 that study came out. 140 people, and we know that just represents a much bigger number. 90% of those women are Canadian, and in that study, 15% were Aboriginal in Ottawa. So it's not a full study. We know that other studies that are done show much, much higher representation of Aboriginal women and girls in this reality, but nobody should be trafficked, and certainly the work that the grandmothers are doing is so important. And I'd like to acknowledge Chief Irene, and thank you so much for the work that you're doing in your community, because it was really your community's support that helped PACT to get the funds from Public Safety Canada to help the grandmothers to start up this work. So, yeah, thank you. And the last thing I would like to do is just tell you a story, because you might be wondering why PACT Ottawa is connected to these grandmothers in the North Shore here. And it's a very interesting story because it happened in India. That's where this all began, with grandmother Isabel and myself. We were part of a group of 5 women who went to India to a conference to speak about women's empowerment in Canada from Indigenous and settler perspectives. And so we got to know each other. We're having our chickpeas for breakfast every day. And Isabel asked me one day, so what do you do? And so I started to tell her about PACT Ottawa. And she said, we really need that up in the north. We don't want to lose another one of our girls. And I said, well, Isabel, when we go home, let's just try and get some money and just do it. And so we did. And so with the help of Irene and the whole Shabashing community, we were able to do that. Now our challenge is to get some more sustainable funding so that this work can continue. But you see, these grandmothers, they continue no matter what. So I really honor you all and thank you for your work and for giving me the honor to be the carrier of this talking stick, and to be invited.
Let's talk about the talking stick.
This talking stick belonged to Allison. Do you want to say something about it?
Yeah.
Okay. Our second meeting when we were up here, and Allison brought this stick, and she said, my brother-in-law made this stick, and I've been holding on to it for quite a long time because I want to bring it to a group, and I don't have a group to bring it to until now, to bring this talking stick. And she said, I would like to ask Sheila to be the keeper of this stick for this group. And so that was a very big honor that left me speechless for a whole day. And so I carried this stick with great honor for the grandmothers. And when I sat down in the circle that day, I sat beside Katie. And she said, that stick is going to take us all the way to the UN. And at the time, none of us knew, including myself, that I was actually going to get a job working for an NGO at the UN, which is where I'm going in January. So the grandmothers will come to the UN at some point. So thank you again.
Bonjour. My name is Isabel Milwaukee, and I'm a Bear Clan woman of the Serpent River, Ojibwe. And I would like to thank those grandmothers that came out here in support of this walk, because we have to, you know. Those old ladies, you know, some of us can barely walk around anymore, but here we are, walking across the international bridge over there. And they didn't hesitate. You know, when it comes to the girls and our young people in this community, and Anishinaabe community, they did not hesitate because they're driven by something old as time. They're driven by the law that says we are accountable for the next 7 generations that are coming at us. So when we have something that strong and that powerful running through our blood, you know, there is no other choice for us as old women. I was told yesterday that Aboriginal girls make up 70% of human trafficked persons in this area. 70%. I said, that's way too high. That's way too high, Grandma. And they said, yeah, that's way too high. They said, we got to do something about that. So we decided that we'll do whatever. And we got no money. We're on a shoestring budget. I seen somebody getting their shoes tied this morning on our walk. You know? That's the way it has to be. We tie each other's shoes up, eh, Grandma? And, yeah. And I had only a couple more things to say here about human trafficking in our communities. I was fortunate enough to listen to this old fella. His name is Jim Dumont. He's out there in the communities talking to people about the 7 fires of Ojibwe creation. And if you ever get a chance to see this old man and invite him to your community, please invite him, because he is so informative, so knowledgeable, and he carries so much wisdom. That old man told us it was at the time of the 6th fire that woman was created. The first woman was Mother, and she was so beautiful that the Creator cried when he made her. And then the next woman that was created was the Grandmother Moon, you know, and that represents grandmothers. And ever since that time, you know, the Great Spirit said, you're accountable, you're responsible for taking care to maintain the order in your community. And the grandmothers have stepped up, and they've stepped into their own power, and now they're starting to maintain order in the communities because God told them to do that. The Great Spirit told them to do that. So they have many responsibilities, but our first responsibility is also to the young people, the youth. So we're going to do that. We're here and we're going to stay here and we're going to take care of our people. I say miigwech and thank you for listening to me. And bless you all. Miigwech.